Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how we can use these funds. So again, with the ESSER monies, as I mentioned, they're attached loosely to how the Title I monies are allocated by the states, but they are not attached to the Title I monies in terms of how they can be used. The ability to use these is much broader in scope and definition by the government deliberately, so that they allow the districts to choose how best they wish to use the funds. Because while we know every district has been impacted by the pandemic, not every district may be impacted in the same way. And so they're allowing the local districts to determine how best to use these funds. That's good for you because it means that you have a little bit of control and your administration has a little bit of control over how they would like to access these funds. So let's talk about some of the things that you could use these for and why this is important to you as a music educator. So these funds could be used for things like equipment. If you have students that are sharing bari saxes or tubas or bass clarinets, and you need to buy additional instruments so that they no longer have to share those instruments, that's a perfect use for these funds. You can be used for personal protective equipment. If you're a choral director and you would like to outfit your ensembles with choral masks so that you can sing in the room together and make sure that you're doing so in a safe environment, these funds could be used for acquiring those types of masks. They could be used for additional instruction. If you need to hire additional instructors to provide supplementary lessons, if you want to run a summer program and you need additional instruction hours or an additional stipend for yourself, you could certainly apply for that through the ESSER grants and ESSER funds. They can be used for things as major as building overhauls. If you need to revamp your HVAC system so that you're doing the air handling in the way that the CDC and NAFME are recommending, these funds could be used for that. So really, there are a lot of uses for these. You can be looking at those either through the information we send you, but also through the information that you're receiving from NAFME or NAM or Yamaha or any one of a variety of different sources that's reaching out about ESSER funds right now. It's also important to remember that these funds do have an expiration date. The current expiration date on this is 12 months, 1 year, from the date of allocation to the states. So the ESSER I funds that were allocated in the spring of 2020 are very rapidly nearing their expiration date. The ESSER II funds, the $2 billion coming into the state of Illinois, we have basically the remainder of the calendar year to get those grant requests in before those funds expire. Upon expiration, any unused funds that were allocated to the states will need to be returned to the federal government. So certainly Illinois has a very vested interest in making sure that these funds get spent, and we want to make sure that you're taking advantage of those. So there is a certain amount of urgency involved in terms of putting your grant requests in. It's also good to remember that these ESSER funds are available, not allocated just for the arts departments. These are available at the district level, meaning that anybody from a variety of different departments can tap into these in terms of the grant system. So again, you want to make sure that you get your requests in soon so that you aren't aced out by the science program, and make sure that you get to take advantage of this when you can. So now that we know what you can use the ESSER funds for, then we also want to talk about kind of the process of how you go about accessing these funds. And this is the piece that we're very excited to share because we know that much of the information that's being sent out to you about ESSER does not specifically tell you how within your state to access these funds. And we've done some research on that here in Illinois, and we think we can help you kind of follow that roadmap. Thank you.